Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making a shortbread cake that has some caramelised apple inside it. Now this is based on a recipe that I saw by a guy called Eric Lanlard, who seems to be a French guy, and he was making Gateau Breton. And he used apple but not caramelised. So I'm going to try this. Basically it's a shortbread mixture that you put into a cake tin. You put half of it in, put the apple on, put the other half on top, egg wash it and bake it. But I'm going to caramelise the apples before I actually put them into the cake mixture. I think that will give it a slightly better flavour. So we'll go on to the ingredients, and for the shortbread mixture I have 350 grams of flour, and I have 250 grams of golden caster sugar, 250 grams of softened butter, 5 egg yolks, 2 tablespoons of dark rum, and 1 egg to wash over the top at the end. I also have, for the apples, 1 cooking apple. This is a Bramley apple, which is very tart. If you don't like tart apples, then you could use a dessert apple, Braeburn for instance, but I think this tartness together with the caramelisation should work quite well. So I also have 100 grams of light brown sugar and 25 grams of butter, and that's going to be the simple caramel that I'm going to make. So the first thing to do is to peel and core the apple. So that seems to be just about right. So we'll peel it and then we're going to slice it. Okay, so then I'm just going to slice that like that. And then we'll go on to make the caramel and put the apples in. And then I'm going to put the sugar in. And heat that until it melts. And as that melts and begins to bubble, I'm going to put the apple in, and I'm going to just toss that apple around the juices will start to come out of it and will help the sugar to melt. But I don't want to overcook the apple because I don't want it to fall apart. And that's it for the apple, so I'm going to turn that off and let that cool down. So as our apple cools down, we're going to get on and make this short crust, the shortbread dough. And so I'm going to put into my bowl 250 grams of softened butter, and 250 grams of golden caster sugar, and then I'm going to beat those together until they're nice and creamy. And then I'm going to add the eggs in and beat those in. That's 5 egg yolks I'm going to put in a bit at a time. And then I'm going to add in the dark rum and a little bit of the flour. And then I'll put the rest of the flour in and just mix that gently until it's combined. And I'll finish that off with a spatula. And with our batter mixed, we're ready to go on to the next step. Now I have my oven preheating at 180 Celsius, that's 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit, and I've got an 8-inch springform pan which I've lined the base of with parchment paper, and I'm going to take half of my dough, my batter, or about half, and I'm going to put it into the bottom of the pan. If I can pick it up with this spatula. And then I'm going to spread it around And then onto that I'm going to put the apples, but I'm not going right up to the edge, and I'm not taking too much of the caramel at this stage. And with that, I'm then going to take the rest of the batter and cover it. And with that covered, I'm just going to take the remaining egg yolk and I'm going to brush that over the batter. This is going to make the cake go quite a dark brown on the top as it bakes. And then the final thing I'm going to do is to take a fork and just drag a pattern into the cake like that. And then it's going to go into the oven and I'm going to bake it for 40 to 45 minutes, by which time it should be a nice dark brown colour on top and it should be ready to come out and cool down. And I'll be back with you when it's cooled down. Well, I'm back with you and I've taken our caramelised apple shortbread cake out of the oven. I've let it cool down completely, taken it out of the tin and I've cut it into well, one slice, and I have to say it looks very good, and I will just have a taste. It tastes good too. That caramelised apple is very, very good. There's the sharpness of the apple, the cooking apple, but also the sweetness of the caramel on it. It does taste good. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. On the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on. That will take you to the recipe on my blog, and I'll also put a link below the video to it as well. And I will be back with you with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.